Times like this, survival and success don't come from luck, they come from understanding. If you're ready to learn what deflation really means, where it comes from, and how to protect yourself or even thrive through it, then this is the deep dive you've been waiting for. If inflation is an economic fever, deflation is a slow freeze. It causes consumers to hesitate, businesses to halt investments, and banks to fear lending. Deflation is the quiet assassin, not loud like inflation, but relentless in its erosion. To truly grasp its force, we need to go deeper into the roots of this phenomenon. Deflation doesn't just appear. It's the consequence of a tangled web of economic and psychological triggers. When an economy's lifelines, cash flow, trust, demand are choked, deflation becomes inevitable. Unlike inflation, which often stems from excess, deflation is born from contraction, and its first root lies in the lifeblood of any economy: money circulation. Shrinking money supply is a major trigger. When central banks tighten monetary policy or commercial banks stop lending, money dries up. After crises like the 2008 meltdown, defaults skyrocketed and banks went into defense mode. With no new loans, spending stalls, investment dies, and the economy begins to shrink. Money gains value, but transactions disappear. The second cause is falling demand. When people lose jobs, income, or confidence, they stop spending. A daily loaf of bread is replaced by instant noodles. New clothes become unnecessary luxuries. This collapse in demand crushes sales and forces businesses to cut prices, pulling the economy closer to a dangerous spiral. As demand plummets, supply, once projected on optimistic forecasts, sits untouched. Factories, farms, and vendors get stuck with inventory. With too much supply and too little demand, prices collapse. But lower prices shrink profit margins, and companies hesitate to reinvest. The economy enters a living dead state, active but devoid of momentum. Excess supply impacts raw material producers too. For example, if bakeries stop buying flour, farmers are stuck with crops. To offload, they slash prices, but too far, and they can't cover production costs. Even with cheap inputs, the supply chain begins to crumble. It's possible for everything to become cheaper and still collapse. Deflation isn't caused by a single event. It's an echo chamber of three forces: too little money, too little demand, and too much supply. Worse, these forces reinforce each other. People save, businesses cut, workers lose jobs, and the loop tightens. This is deflation's self-sustaining spiral: cold, quiet, and deadly. Deflation isn't a one-off wave. It's a swirling vortex. When people notice falling prices, their behavior changes fast. Why buy today when it's cheaper tomorrow? That logic spreads like wildfire. Spending halts, businesses stall, and the economy slows. It's not just about prices anymore. It's about lost confidence. And an economy that's lost faith is one running out of breath. As prices drop, businesses slash costs. First materials, then wages, and eventually, jobs. Inventory piles up, cash flow dries, and layoffs begin. Laid-off workers stop spending. The cycle tightens from buyer to seller, from worker to owner. Everyone retreats. And the economy contracts with every breath of fear. Even when companies trim every cost, they can't beat consumer expectations. Don't buy now, prices will fall. That mindset kills revenue. Meanwhile, fixed costs like rent, power, and insurance remain. Eventually, the only options are deeper cuts, temporary closures, or bankruptcy. The dominoes begin to fall. It doesn't stop at one sector. As manufacturing slows, transport, logistics, and services follow. Entire value chains contract. Banks grow cautious, markets freeze, and capital dries up. Without financial flow, businesses can't function. And so the economy's tissue, businesses, jobs, transactions, begins to rot, piece by piece. Even worse, deflation reinforces itself. The more prices fall, the more people delay spending, which in turn pressures businesses to cut prices further. And so the vicious loop begins. Prices drop, consumption drops, revenues drop, output drops, employment drops, prices drop again. Each turn of the wheel digs the grave deeper. This is the deadliest truth about deflation. It makes everyone freeze. Consumers hoard